Hi all. So today we are going to talk about generics. So let's get into the topic. So Java generics is a feature which was introduced in the version Java 5 and it allows to define classes, interface and methods with some placeholders. So those are called as type parameters and for types which I'll be talking into this video. So this helps in achieving code reusability and type safety. So we shall also look into what is the type safety. So the key points of generic feature which I'll be trying to cover in this video are of as follows. Type parameters, generic classes, generic methods, type safety, bounded type parameters, and wildcard types. So let's first look into what is type parameter. So type parameter, it basically allows the developers to represent types in a generic class or a generic method. So how they are specified is using angle brackets. So for example, if we take box of t, so here t is the type parameter. So what is a generic class? A generic class is a class that has one or more type parameters. These type parameters, it is used to specify the type of object that the class can work with. So for example, box of integer, it is a generic class that can hold integer objects. I think some of you might have seen in Java JDK, especially hashmap. So if you go and see the definition of hashmap.java, so hashmap itself is a generic class. So where it has defined two parameters, k, comma v, which is basically representing the key object and the value object. Generic method. A generic method is a method that has one or more type parameters. So these type parameters are used to specify the kind of arguments and also the return value of the method. For example, here you can see void display. It takes an argument of type t and it returns a value of type t. So this is a generic method that can accept and display objects of any type. So here we are not specifying a type, so it can actually accept and display objects of any type. Now let's go to the next key point in generics. Type safety. So generics provide type safety by catching type errors at compile time rather than at runtime. So one benefit of type safety is that at runtime you can actually prevent some exceptions. For example, the class cast exceptions. So what is a bounded type parameter? So you can actually specify a bound for a type parameter so that you can do some kind of restriction on the types that can be used for the parameter. For example, t extends number. So any type which can be substituted only with a subclass of number. So only that can be worked with that class. What is a wildcard type? So wildcard type, it represents unknown types in a generic class or method. So they are specified using this question mark symbol and it can be bounded or it can be unbounded. So for example, here list of this question mark unknown type, it represents a list of unknown types. So here is an example of generic class definition wherein it says box of type parameters specified by T, wherein we have an item of type T and these are getters and setters. So it gets a type and it can set a type wherein item can be of any type. So here, this is an example of a code which basically uses this generic class. Here we see box of integer. It is a new box and we are setting the value 10. And if we try to set, let's say, as a developer, we try to write this code, and if we try to set hello using the string, the compiler itself will be able to catch it because integer box, as we have defined here, it's a box of type integer. So it can accept only integer. So even, for example, the setter method in the previous slide, you can see once it is set, it will just accept only integer. It will not accept the string. So it will throw a compiler error. So here, if you see in the same code, you can actually do box of string and you can create a new box, and string box you can set the string here itself. And here, let's say if in the string box, if you set some integer, it will throw a compile error. So this itself is an example of code reusability. And this code is basically it returns the integer and it returns the string, and wherein you can do some kind of printing to the console just to see what values are getting printed. So this is a great introduction to the world of generics. You can run this code and you can see the output. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe, like and share and comment on my video so that I can get a feedback, and also it encourages my team, a very small team, to make similar such videos in the future. Thank you for watching. Bye.